Once upon a time, in a quiet village tucked between rolling hills and emerald green fields, there lived a young woman named Amina. Amina was known throughout the village for her beauty and charm, but it was her kindness that truly made her beloved by all. With a warm heart and gentle spirit, Amina was always willing to help her neighbors and lend a hand to anyone in need. She lived a modest life with her family. Her father, Umar, was a farmer who spent long hours working the land, while her mother, Zara, sold crafts at the village market. Despite their limited means, the family was happy and close-knit. Amina excelled in her studies at the local school, where she often helped her friends understand lessons. The village elders would frequently speak of a bright future, foreseeing that she might one day bring great pride to the village. One of Amina's closest friends was Halima, a girl who was drawn to Amina's kindness and intelligence. Though Halima struggled in school and often took risky paths, Amina saw the best in her friend and enjoyed her company. One fateful day, Amina and Halima were sharing a meal when Halima confided in her friend about a secret source of a seemingly endless wealth. "There is a man, Adamu, who gives me gifts and money. All I have to do is keep him company, and he showers me with beautiful things," she said with a glint in her eye. Amina was shocked but curious. Though she didn't fully understand why Halima would be involved with Adamu in this way, she trusted her friend's judgment. But the seed of temptation was planted, and Amina's mind wandered back to that conversation many times over the coming months. Then, one sunny afternoon, while she was walking by the river, she met a young man named Musa. Musa was a quiet, hard-working farmer known for his honesty and kindness. The two quickly grew close, finding peace in each other's company. Musa would bring Amina flowers from his fields and sometimes gifts he made himself. Their relationship blossomed, and soon they became inseparable. Yet, in a moment of impulsiveness, one day Amina found herself in an unexpected situation with Musa, and soon she discovered that she was carrying his child. When she broke the news to Musa, she hoped he would stand by her. But instead, Musa looked away, uncertain and overwhelmed. He offered her no support, leaving Amina feeling lost and heartbroken. Desperate and unsure, Amina sought the counsel of Mama Aisha, an older woman in the village known for her healing skills and wisdom. Mama Aisha had helped deliver many babies in the village, and Amina thought she might understand her plight. After listening intently, Mama Aisha's expression turned serious. "My dear," she said with a heavy sigh, "if you're not prepared to care for this child, there are other options. There are those who would pay well for a healthy baby." Amina was startled. Sell her own child? At first, the idea felt absurd. But as the days passed, the idea of securing her future and freeing herself from this predicament grew tempting. Despite her misgivings, she agreed. When her daughter was born, Amina found herself detached, as though the baby was a stranger. Mama Aisha arranged the sale, and with tears in her eyes, Amina exchanged her child for a pouch of coins and a bracelet of gold. It was a life-altering decision, but as she looked at the wealth she had received, Amina felt a strange sense of relief. The coins began to accumulate, and Amina's lifestyle changed. She wore the finest dresses, adorned herself in the most beautiful jewelry, and decorated her small home with expensive fabrics and tapestries. The villagers noticed her transformation and began to whisper. Some admired her success, others questioned how she could afford such luxuries. But her wealth came with a price, as Amina soon found out. With time, she repeated her actions, bearing more children only to sell them after birth. Her reputation in the village continued to grow, though rumors of her mysterious transactions also spread. Some people warned her, including Mama Aisha herself, who was now growing uneasy. "Amina," she said one day, "wealth can vanish as quickly as it appears. A mother's love is more lasting." Amina only laughed. "These children are my way to success. Mama, I can have many more. They are my blessings, and they'll bring me prosperity." Years passed, and Amina had amassed great wealth, enough to live in luxury and comfort. She built a large house, the grandest in the village, and bought everything she had once dreamed of. But soon, her life of prosperity began to feel hollow. With no family of her own, she felt a nagging loneliness, something her riches couldn't fill. Her parents urged her to find a husband and settle down. At first, Amina dismissed the idea, but eventually, she met and married a man named Idris. He was handsome and kind-hearted, and they enjoyed a few years of happiness. Yet Amina found herself unable to conceive, and the joy that once brightened her home faded. Her in-laws grew frustrated and accused her of being barren, eventually urging Idris to take another wife. Heartbroken, Amina watched him leave. Distraught, she returned to Mama Aisha, who looked at her with sad, knowing eyes. "You traded away your future, child," she whispered. "The children you sold, each was a part of you, and now they are gone." With a heavy heart, Amina set off to find the children she had given away, hoping to reunite with them and rebuild her life. She visited one village after another, searching for the families who had taken her children. But none of them would let her see the children, and many denied knowing her at all. Each door closed in her face, and with every rejection, Amina felt her heart break a little more. She returned home defeated, realizing the weight of her choices. The village, having heard of her travels and rejected reunions, now looked at her with pity and scorn. The respect she had once commanded was replaced by whispers and suspicion. Amina sold everything she had left and gave the money to the poor, hoping that, in some small way, she could atone for her mistakes. With no riches, no children, and no family, she lived the remainder of her days in solitude, haunted by memories of the lives she had left behind. Her beauty faded, and she became a figure of quiet sorrow in the village, a cautionary tale for young women who might be tempted by quick wealth at the expense of family and love. Years later, the villagers would recount her story, speaking in hushed tones about the woman who had everything and lost it all. And in the quiet evenings, when the breeze whispered through the village, some claimed they could hear Amina's soft cries carried on the wind, a reminder of the price of greed and the power of a mother's love. Amina's quiet, remorseful existence was often punctuated by the soft cries of distant children playing in the fields nearby. Though she could no longer claim motherhood over any child, she found herself drawn to the village children, who looked at her with a mixture of fear and curiosity, having heard stories from their elders about her once glamorous life and mysterious ways. Her home was small and plain, a stark contrast to the mansion she once owned, but she kept a warm hearth and a soft place to sit for any villager who came by seeking comfort. One day, as Amina sat by her doorway watching the sun dip below the hills, a young girl named Sade came to visit. Sade was a curious and bold child, known for wandering farther than others dared. She had heard stories of Amina's tragic past and was captivated by them, though she sensed there was more to the woman than what people gossiped about. "Auntie Amina," Sade said as she plopped down beside her, "why do they say you were once the richest woman in the village? What happened to all your money?" Amina looked at Sade's wide, innocent eyes and felt a pang in her chest. She hesitated, feeling the weight of the painful memories, but something about Sade's curiosity and openness softened her. "Money," Amina began, her voice barely a whisper, "is like water in your hands, Sade. It flows, slips through your fingers, and leaves you feeling thirstier than before." Sade tilted her head, absorbing the words. She was too young to understand the full depth of Amina's pain, but she sensed the sorrow there. Over time, Sade became Amina's regular visitor, often bringing her wildflowers or a small loaf of bread from her family's kitchen. In return, Amina shared stories, advice, and slowly, fragments of her own history. Sade listened carefully, taking in each tale, often returning home to retell the stories to her friends with wide-eyed fascination. As Sade grew older, Amina saw her as the child she had never raised, pouring her love and wisdom into the girl. Amina taught her how to cook, how to sew, and, above all, she shared the lessons she had learned too late, about patience, about love, and about the priceless value of family. The years rolled on, and Amina's health began to fail. Her once bright eyes grew dim, and her voice grew faint. The villagers, now more sympathetic than judgmental, would occasionally come by with food or blankets, treating her with a gentle respect, as if acknowledging the depth of her regret. One misty morning, when Amina's breaths were growing shallow, Sade visited her as usual. But this time, she sensed the woman's time was drawing near. She knelt beside Amina, holding her hand and speaking in soothing whispers, sharing memories of the stories they had once shared. As Amina's breath grew softer and softer. Before she passed, Amina looked into Sade's tearful eyes and managed a final, fragile smile. "Remember, my child," she whispered, "that riches can be a curse as much as a blessing. Love those around you, and never chase anything at the cost of your soul." With these words, Amina closed her eyes, drifting peacefully into eternal rest. The village mourned Amina's passing, and they buried her on a quiet hillside overlooking the fields where she once played as a child. Her grave became a small shrine over time, where villagers would go to reflect on their lives, sometimes leaving offerings of wildflowers or candles in her memory. Sade often visited the grave, carrying with her Amina's lessons, which had shaped her heart and mind. As she grew into a woman, Sade married and had children of her own, raising them with love and a deep appreciation for the things in life that could not be bought or sold. And though Amina was gone, her spirit lived on in Sade, in the village's tales, and in the wisdom she had imparted to generations. Thus, Amina became a legend, a symbol of redemption, and a reminder to the villagers that love and family are the true treasures of life. In her story, they found both a cautionary tale and a comforting message, that even the heaviest mistakes can be met with grace, and that even the greatest sorrows can be healed, if only we open our hearts to those around us. Over the years, Amina's story was passed down through generations, woven into the fabric of village life as both a cautionary tale and a testament to the power of redemption. Elders would sit around the evening fires, recounting the story of Amina to wide-eyed children, warning them about the dangers of greed and the consequences of sacrificing family for fleeting wealth. For the villagers, Amina became a powerful lesson in the value of humility, love, and resilience. Sade, now a mother herself, found that Amina's words often came back to her as she raised her own children. When her little ones would ask about their strange Auntie Amina, who left no children of her own, Sade would gather them around and tell them the story of a young woman who had once made a grave mistake but found a way to redeem her soul by embracing the people around her with kindness and wisdom. Sade's children would listen, their hearts tugged by Amina's trials, her regrets, and her eventual transformation. They learned to respect her memory, and they would sometimes visit Amina's grave to place flowers or small tokens, feeling a connection to the woman they never met. It was as though Amina's spirit had become part of their family, a cherished reminder of their roots and the values she embodied. Kofi had heard stories of Amina from his childhood, stories his grandmother, Sade, had lovingly recounted. He admired Amina's strength and the lessons her life had imparted to the village. Determined to honor her legacy, Kofi proposed introducing new ideas to enhance the festival and promote education and community development. The villagers were intrigued and supportive, excited about the potential for growth while maintaining their cherished traditions. During the festival preparations, Kofi met a young woman named Layla, a talented weaver who had recently returned from traveling abroad. Layla had seen how different communities celebrated and connected, and she was passionate about integrating some of these ideas into Golu's traditions. Together, Kofi and Layla brainstormed ways to incorporate educational workshops, storytelling sessions, and collaborative art projects into the festival. As the festival day approached, anticipation grew. The village square was adorned with vibrant decorations, colorful banners, and intricate patterns woven by Layla herself. Stalls were set up for various activities, each representing a facet of Amina's legacy: kindness, resilience, forgiveness, and the true meaning of wealth. *** On the morning of the festival, villagers and visitors alike gathered, eager to participate in the newly introduced activities. Kofi opened a workshop on sustainable farming techniques, sharing knowledge he had gained during his studies. Farmers from neighboring villages attended, exchanging ideas and learning new methods to improve the yields without harming the environment. Layla organized a storytelling circle under the shade of a large baobab tree. Elders recounted tales of Amina and other village legends, while children listened intently, their imaginations ignited by the rich narratives. Sade, now an elderly matriarch, shared her memories of Amina, emphasizing the importance of love and community over material wealth. As the day unfolded, the village buzzed with energy and collaboration. People danced to traditional rhythms, sang songs that celebrated their heritage, and engaged in heartfelt conversations about their shared values and aspirations. The new elements introduced by Kofi and Layla were embraced wholeheartedly, blending seamlessly with the established traditions and adding new layers of meaning to the festival. Amidst the festivities, Kofi and Layla took a moment to reflect on the significance of their contributions. They stood together, watching the joy and unity around them, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. They realized that by honoring Amina's legacy and integrating their own experiences, they were fostering a stronger, more resilient community. As evening descended, the village gathered around a large bonfire. Sade stood to speak, her voice steady and filled with emotion. Today, we celebrate not only our past but also our future. Amina's story teaches us that true wealth lies in our connections, our kindness, and our ability to overcome our mistakes with grace and forgiveness. Let us continue to honor her memory by building a community rooted in love and mutual support. The villagers echoed her sentiments, their voices harmonizing in a powerful affirmation of their shared values. The bonfire illuminated their faces, casting a warm glow that symbolized the light of hope and unity within the community. In the months that followed, the Festival of Hearts continued to evolve, becoming a beacon of progress and tradition. Kofi and Layla worked tirelessly to ensure that the festival remained relevant and inclusive, inviting input from all members of the community. They established a village library, stocked with books donated by Kofi and collected from neighboring towns, providing a resource for education and storytelling. Layla spearheaded an art initiative, encouraging villagers to create murals and sculptures that depicted their collective stories and dreams. These artworks not only beautified the village but also served as reminders of their shared journey and the lessons learned from Amina's life. One day, a young boy named Tunde approached Kofi with a heartfelt request. Tunde had been inspired by Amina's story and wanted to create a play that would bring her tale to life for the younger generation. Kofi supported the idea, and together with Layla, they organized rehearsals, involving children and adults alike in the creative process. The play, titled Amina's Legacy, was a resounding success. It portrayed Amina's struggles, her eventual redemption, and the enduring impact of her choices on the village. The performance moved many, sparking conversations about personal responsibility, community support, and the importance of making ethical decisions. It became a staple of the festival, performed annually to remind everyone of the values they held dear. As the years went by, Golu continued to prosper, its residents guided by the wisdom of the past and the innovations of the present. The village became known as a place where tradition and progress coexisted harmoniously, attracting visitors from afar who sought to learn from their unique blend of heritage and forward-thinking. One particularly memorable year, during the Festival of Hearts, a young woman named Nia arrived in Golu. Nia was a teacher from a distant city, seeking to understand the secrets behind the village's strong sense of community and resilience. She had heard about Amina's story and was eager to witness firsthand how her legacy had shaped the lives of the villagers. Nia spent the festival immersed in the activities, attending workshops, listening to stories, and participating in the art projects. She was particularly moved by the play Amina's Legacy, which resonated deeply with her own experiences and challenges. Inspired by what she saw, Nia proposed collaborating with Golu to create educational programs that could be implemented in her own community back in the city. Kofi and Layla welcomed the idea, seeing it as an opportunity to extend their village's positive influence beyond its borders. They organized a special meeting with Nia, discussing ways to share their knowledge and practices with others who could benefit from their approach to community building and personal growth. Together, they developed a series of workshops and training sessions that could be conducted in various settings, emphasizing the importance of storytelling, community involvement, and the integration of tradition with modernity. These programs aim to empower individuals and communities to overcome their own struggles and build stronger, more compassionate societies. Nia returned to her city with a wealth of ideas and a newfound sense of purpose. She implemented the programs, tailoring them to address the specific needs of her community. The initiatives were met with enthusiasm, leading to increased collaboration, mutual support, and a deeper appreciation for shared values among the residents. Meanwhile, back in Golu, the collaboration with Nia sparked a new wave of inspiration. Villagers began reaching out to other communities, sharing their experiences and learning from others in return. This exchange of ideas fostered a network of interconnected villages, all committed to fostering environments where individuals could thrive through love, support, and ethical decision-making. As time continued to move forward, the village of Golu stood as a testament to the enduring power of one woman's story. Amina's legacy was not just a tale of regret and redemption, but a living, breathing guide that shaped the lives of countless individuals across generations and communities. Amina's story had evolved from a cautionary narrative to a beacon of hope and transformation, inspiring others to embrace their past, learn from their mistakes, and strive for a future grounded in compassion and unity. Her spirit lived on in every act of kindness, every lesson taught, and every life touched by the Festival of Hearts. One serene evening, as the sun set over the hills, casting a golden hue across the village, Kofi stood atop a hill overlooking Golu. He reflected on the journey they had undertaken, the challenges they had faced, and the remarkable progress they had achieved. Beside him stood Layla, her eyes sparkling with pride and contentment. "Do you ever think about what Amina would say if she saw us now?" Kofi mused, his voice filled with gratitude. Layla smiled, nodding thoughtfully. "I believe she'd be proud. We've honored her memory by living the values she embodied and by ensuring her story continues to inspire others." As they watched the sky transition from twilight to night, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, carrying with it a sense of peace and fulfillment. The village of Golu thrived, its people united by the lessons of the past and the promise of a brighter future. And so, the tale of Amina continued to weave its magic, a timeless reminder that even in the face of great mistakes, the path to redemption and the power of community can transform lives and shape the destiny of generations to come. Decades later, the story of Amina and the Festival of Hearts remained an integral part of Golu's identity. The village had grown, with new families and traditions blending seamlessly with the old. The library established by Kofi became a hub of knowledge and storytelling, housing countless tales that inspired and educated. Layla's art initiatives had turned Golu into a haven for artists and creatives, each piece a reflection of the village's history and aspirations. The murals and sculptures dotted the landscape, each telling a part of the story that had shaped their lives. Kofi and Layla, now respected elders themselves, continued to mentor the younger generations, ensuring that the values of love, community, and ethical living remained at the forefront of Golu's culture. They often reminisced about the early days of the festival, grateful for the journey they had undertaken and the legacy they were entrusted to uphold. Nia's programs had spread far beyond Golu, influencing communities across the region. Her dedication to education and community development had transformed countless lives, creating ripples of positive change that echoed Amina's original legacy. As the sun set on yet another Festival of Hearts, the village gathered once more to celebrate their shared heritage and look forward to the future. The bonfire crackled, its flames dancing in the night, as stories were told, songs were sung, and hearts were united in a common purpose. In the heart of the village, under the expansive canopy of the baobab tree, the spirit of Amina lived on, a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring power of love and redemption. Her story, passed down through generations, continued to inspire and guide, ensuring that the lessons of the past would forever illuminate the path to a brighter, more compassionate future. And thus, the village of Golu thrived, forever shaped by the legacy of one woman's journey from regret to redemption, reminding all who heard her tale that true wealth lies not in what we possess, but in the love we share and the lives we touch.